Hi everyone, I'm Abby Osborne and I'm the head coach for the West Delaware speech team. This is our awards night virtual experience. In this video, we aim to celebrate the accomplishments of the speech team for the 2019-2020 season. First, I want to throw some numbers your way. This year we had 113 students involved in speech. Our team makes up about a quarter of the high school population. On the large group side of things, West Delaware took 31 large groups, that's freshman through senior, to district contest, with 19 moving on to state. Of those 19, 13 received Division I ratings, and ultimately 3 groups went on to all-state large group at Iowa State. On the individual side of things, West Delaware took 59 entries, again including our freshmen, to district contest, with 36 moving on to state. Of those 36, 27 received Division I ratings. Ultimately, 9 events were nominated for All-State, though sadly the festival was not possible this year. By the end of any season, I usually have these numbers memorized. I share them proudly because they represent our school's support and passion toward this activity. We thank our administration for supporting our efforts and encouraging kids to get involved in this very important activity. We also need to thank the custodial staff that learns the master speech schedule just as well as I do in order to help clean up our facilities. I need to thank my coaches behind me, Mr. Hagland, Tina Ostrander, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Bishkovsky, Miss Lind, and Mrs. Cassett. We must also thank the parents of our students. Without you, we know many scripts would go unmemorized, many practices unattended, and many lives would be much different. We are so grateful for your support of the speech team. We will start our video with class speakers selected by their teammates. The class speakers were asked to talk about what speech means to them. Then the coaches will talk about each member of our resilient senior class. Lastly, we will end with some special awards before honoring one of our beloved coaches. Thank you.
I'm Kamira, and I'm a freshman, and I'm going to talk about freshman speech. Well, we had about 30 freshmen go out for speech this year, and 3 groups for large group made it to state, and 19 out of 31 events for individual made it to state, and a lot were freshmen. Also, I'd like to congratulate Cindy Lorang for making it to All-State for her individual. Some of my favorite memories are All-State and just working with my groups. All-State is such a huge experience going because you can watch the groups that you were in this year, and you can learn so much that can help you for next year and help you become better. And working with my groups is so much fun because it makes you closer with your friends and makes you closer with Oz and everybody, and it's so fun. In improv, working with upperclassmen and stuff, it made me so much closer to them. But also, I want to bring up one fun memory is when I sprained my ankle before my individual. Shout out to Oz and Hegland for helping me with my ankle before I had to go do my individual. Thank you.
This year, the sophomore class of 2022 had 25 members. The season was new and exciting for all of us, and we all made our mark during this group season. From our class, we had 2 all-state performers and 1 all-state alternate for choral, along with 25 other state performers. In individual season, Rachel Wanger was nominated for all-state, along with 2 other performers at state. Throughout the season, 3 newbies were taught what speech was all about, how much fun it is, and how much hard work we put in to reach our goals. To our newbies, on behalf of the whole sophomore class, I thank you for joining us this season and hope you found your place with us. Overall, this speech season was indescribable to us because of an all-state performance.
New friendships.
Unforgettable memories.
Courage.
New experiences.
Bedtime stories.
Dancing.
AML performances.
Mima.
Be yourself.
New friends.
Singing.
Great. So here we are with me doing 2 things I never thought I would be doing. Number 1, giving a speech, and number 2, recording myself talking, which I basically promised myself I would never do again after I was in radio my freshman year. But I'm also doing something that we all knew I was going to do. Wearing a sweatshirt and a pair of leggings. But hey, at least I straightened my hair and put in my contacts for this shindig. Anyways, back to the task at hand. The 2020 season was cut short, but there's still a lot that we can look back on and be proud of this season. We were able to get all of our large group season in, And we had 3 All-State nominations. We were able to have the beginning of our individual season regularly, and then when state got canceled, we were lucky enough to have the coaches fight for us and go above and beyond to arrange a makeup date before all of this craziness happened. And that exact state contest resulted in 9 All-State nominations. Heck yeah! Another great thing about this season was the amount of dedication. I would guess everybody on the team spent around 2 hours a week practicing each of their events. And I'm not going to do the math because that would be like 40,000 hours, but that's a lot of time to spend on one thing. But that time was not wasted at all. We spent that time talking about mental health and death in choral, talking about death and mental health in all 3 of our ensembles, talking about mental health in the readers, talking about... Okay, so now that I think about it, we kind of spent the majority of the season talking about mental health, maybe preparing us for all this. And speaking of which, I hope everybody is staying strong through all of this, and if not, and you need a little pick-me-up or a shoulder to cry on or anything, just, you know where I am. You know how to find me, and you know where I am. Whether this season you had your first line ever in front of people or your first lead role, we all stretched and expanded ourselves. Now, I think it's time for some thank yous. To the coaches, thank you for spending the equal amount of hard work, dedication, and time you put into every single one of your groups as we do. I'm sure that you would kill to be performing with us up on stage. Or maybe that's just something we all hope for. I don't really know. To the freshmen and the sophomores, thank you for going out for speech in the first place and for dedicating your time to such a great program. To the junior class, and really to everyone, thank you for always pushing us to better ourselves and for always providing a little bit of healthy competition within our grade. And I know that I personally love competition and thrive off of it, so thank you. And to the seniors, I know that you are all super sad because you feel like you didn't get to perform one last time, but I'm here to tell you that you did. You did perform. You performed for all of us watching you and looking up to you the past 1, 2, or even 3 seasons. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being our role models, and thank you for setting the bar high. You will be greatly missed next year, but you left your impression on all of us, and we will do our best to do justice to the speech team next year without you. Okay, now is the time that you've all been waiting for. I'm signing off. Goodbye.
Hello everyone. Excuse the extremely long hair. I have not been able to get a haircut in a really long time due to everything being shut down. But Speech 2019-2020 was really special. I made a lot of memories, and one of my favorite memories happened at District Speech 1-act play. Casey Weber was trying to make a really quick exit to get off stage, and he ran straight into the door. And it was one of those moments where you had to be there. And also, one thing that made it really awesome was the class of 2020 speech team. We encouraged everyone to try to come out and join the speech and just enjoy the memories, no matter who you were. This year, we added 7 new people. Not only first-timers, but we had a few people come back who did it their freshman or sophomore year, and they wanted to come back and enjoy the memories because we told them how much fun speech is. And this year was a lot of fun, but something really scary happened for everyone. Friday the 13th was the last day of high school ever for us seniors. Now that's something to be worried about.
I remember Sydney in her freshman year, Sydney Bolsinger, as a student in my choral reading group. She was one of the hosts of my little pageant choral that I did for freshmen. And Sydney was such a star then, and I have absolutely loved watching her mature and grow throughout the years. This year I had the chance to work with her in solo mime, and I was so impressed with Sydney's work ethic and her dedication to getting it right. Every person, for the most part, except for a few judges, absolutely loved that mime, thought it was hilarious, and thought that it was just a great piece of performance that really exemplified Sydney's personality, and I loved bonding with Sydney over our cats and having our pizza parties together. So it was a really special year for Sydney and I've enjoyed getting to know you, Sydney.
I was really happy that Kalia was in my musical theater group this year, and she was in an ensemble as well. She came in with lots of speech and performance experience and always contributed great ideas about blocking, portraying our characters, and choreography. She was very detail-oriented and wanted to make our group the best that it could be, whether it involved finding time outside of practice to go over parts, or working together to come up with just the right choreography, or giving feedback for portraying the right attitude for each character. I was so proud of the progress that she and the rest of the group made, and we had a lot of fun at practices. Kalia's goal-oriented and hardworking attitude will be a strength for her in the future.
This was the first year that Denise joined speech, and I am so thankful that she did. She played her role in our musical called Disaster incredibly well. As many of you know, Denise can belt just about any note, and that's exactly what she did. She worked hard finding her character and figuring out how she would interact with the other characters. Denise also was a very strong leader, helping all of us find pitches, working on choreography, and pushing the group forward when we seemed stuck. Thank you so much, Denise, for your hard work this year, and I wish you the best of luck in your future.
I was so glad when Allison Collier came back out for speech this year. I think that we had a really fun time in ensemble acting. Of course, we got all the way to All-State with it, but I loved watching Allison grow, and I loved Allison's desire for feedback. She's always asking how she can improve, and because of that is a very strong actor and very strong in other areas of her life. Allison, I enjoyed your spirit, and this year it was really fun to watch you be goofy with the other girls, though sometimes I wish I didn't see the things I saw. For the most part, I think we had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed working with you all, and especially Allison. I really appreciated your hard work and the way that you just never gave up and were willing to take changes, even if it was a day or two before our contest. So great job, Allison.
I was so excited to be able to work with Emma Dunkel for the first time this year in Readers Theater. From the very beginning of the season, I knew that I could count on her to be an amazing leader and give input that would help the good of the group. Emma's hard work, passion, dedication, and leadership will definitely be missed next year. Thank you for making my second year of coaching a blast. We're all going to miss you for all you have contributed in speech.
Luke Farmer was involved in speech for all 4 years on the individual side, which is really rare. We have a lot of people that just do large group, but Luke only did individuals. And I think that is really a clear way to define Luke, in that he's very rare. So we love that he was involved in wrestling and also had time to make speech happen. I think that shows how well-rounded he is, and of course excels in his academics. Luke is a very hard worker and very independent. So often in individuals, I would give him a task and I'd say, okay, go. And he would have it ready to go, or pretty dang close, by the next time that I saw him. And I think that is a testament to his work ethic and to why he was successful. This year, if you saw his individual storytelling piece, it was nominated for All-State, and I think that it was absolutely worthy. It was very funny and showed that special talent that Luke has. So I've been really excited to work with you, Luke, over the years, and I think that you'll go far.
Jacob joined speech last year and was first an alternate. He came to practices even though he may not have gotten to perform. In a turnaround of about 30 minutes, Jacob stepped in and took a role on my TV news team. We truly appreciate him for his hard work and filling that spot. This year, Jacob was an essential leader within his choral reading group that made it to All-State. He also was part of my group ensemble where he had to figure out how his moody character would respond to different situations. It was tough, but Jacob worked hard and was very successful. I honestly saw Jacob move from a performer to a performer and a leader this season, and am so thankful for his work. We will miss you, Jacob, but we wish you the best of luck in your future.
Melina has been a joy to work with these last 2 years in Readers Theater. From the very beginning of the season, I knew that she would be a phenomenal leader just based on her experience, her positive attitude, and her work ethic. This year, it was so much fun to see growth from last year into this year, that drive, that dedication to her character, and then also to see that growth within radio broadcasting. You will definitely be missed next year, Melina. I had a ton of fun working with Maddie in Readers Theater last year and then radio broadcasting this year. Even though I probably said, that was great, but let's record it one more time, more than once. Everybody in radio broadcasting would know that. I could always count on Madison to have a smile on her face and be ready to give it another go with such a positive attitude. And it was so much fun to see Maddie grow as a performer. We are going to miss you next year, and we wish you luck.
Victoria Harris, I have so much to say. So over the years, Victoria really has been sort of a manager for me. If you know me, you know, and if you've been in a group with Victoria and I, you'll know that I'll say, you need to talk to Vicky about that. So Vicky is sort of the heart and soul, the organization anyway, of our speech team and specifically our core reading group over the past few years. I will miss that organization. I will miss having someone that I can go to and say, okay, what about set? What about equipment? What about these things? Victoria is absolutely that person. Victoria has also been really great in terms of being a leader. I can always count on her to model what I want to see from other students. And in general, I think is going to make a lot of big differences in the lives of future students if she continues to pursue education, because she is so caring and so kind and just very well organized. So Victoria, I've enjoyed working with you over the years, and I will absolutely miss you.
This year, Austin was in my group mime team with another member. She came to practices twice a week at 6:45 a.m. and was never late. Austin put a ton of work into growing as a mime performer this year. She worked hard to figure out how to show tension and weight in her movements. Sometimes I would throw out this random, try this, and she would give me one of those, seriously, faces, but would dive right in and try it anyway. Thank you, Austin, for working with me this year and growing as a performer. I wish you the best of luck in your future.
This one's for Kinley Colbert. I enjoyed working with Kinley this year in short film. She was, I would say, an overall very good team player. She was very dependable. It didn't matter. She was probably there, I would say, more than anyone else in the whole group. Short film's hard at times because there's different shooting schedules and everything, and she was there, I would say, almost every single time, whether she had to be in a shot or not. She was helping shoot. Afterwards, the fun job no one likes doing is editing, and she was also there quite a few times with editing, doing a lot of that work, getting a lot of that done and cut and ready for a short film. She put in a lot of extra work, and that's what made it fun to work with her, because I knew I could count on her and that she was someone that you knew you could trust. I'm just glad to have her. I know this was her first time in speech. I was glad that I was able to have her in short film. It was fun. She made a fantastic first impression as a speech student, and she made a fantastic impression as a person as well.
I was really glad to work with Zoe this year. She was in my group mime and in one act this year. I was excited to work with her in group mime since I'd been watching her in some of the other events she's been in over the past years and thought she had great facial expressions. I love getting to know her better and see her take on more leadership roles while also being a team player within the group. She was conscientious and worked to make her groups the best they could be. Whether it was going through segments multiple times and asking for feedback or pumping up her teammates on how they were doing. She has a strong work ethic and an outgoing and friendly personality, which will serve her well in the future. I was able to work with Matthew in short film this year, and he was also in TV news. It seemed that he really went out of his comfort zone this year, even trying individual events for the first time, which also made it to state. Matthew did so much behind the scenes work in his group events. We don't know what we would have done without his expertise. It's easy to see how much he excels at anything dealing with technology, but he also had some awesome ideas for the group, whether it was the angles of the shots that we were taking, or what kind of transitions would look good, or tweaking the lighting and the sound. He works hard at making the finished product the best it can be, often working outside of practice time to do so. We can't wait to see what the future has in store for Matthew.
Colby Samuelson. Hi, Colby. There's so much to say about you. One of the things the coaches wanted me to say is that with individuals this year, you worked so hard. You practiced day and night, several times a week, several hours a night for your individuals, and your work ethic was just phenomenal. With me for one act, you thought you only wanted to be a techie, and I pushed you and you let me push you. And I think you found a different side of you. You are an entertainer. You really let me make you be goofy, but in a controlled way. And I appreciate that. You were a leader in getting people to get to work many times, and everything you've done for speech and how much you've grown. We are going to miss you.
This is for Grant Schneiders. I've actually been lucky to work with him for the last 4 years in individual events. I think even though he loved radio his first 2 years and probably wanted to still continue with it, we were able to talk him into trying and doing some other stuff, which I hope that he enjoyed. I enjoyed coaching him in it. I enjoyed his ability to just kind of roll with whatever was happening in the situation. That goes to both radio, where you just kind of have something different every time, but also review, working really hard at something when you were just an alternate, and then following it up this year in solo musical theater, working hard at your script, changing it, and having to redo some stuff even up to the last minute to work on it. I just kind of enjoyed how you've always been able to just kind of go through that. I hope you get to keep that energy and enthusiasm in the future. It's been a pleasure working with Grant the last 4 years, and I wish you luck.
So Gabby Schumann was in my choral reading group for the last few years, and she is one of those people that you definitely notice when she's not there. She was always so kind and smiley and friendly, and just that person you could count on to be a light during your groups and during your practices. And we will miss that next year for sure. That's something when I was casting, it was never a question of whether Gabby would be in or not. I knew I needed to have Gabby because I needed somebody to be really positive in sometimes our most stressful days, and I could count on her for that. Gabby was also one of those people that we developed a lot of memories around, whether it was maybe coming in a little bit wrong. Sometimes Gabby had that tendency, or the one time that she fainted at practice, which gave all of us quite the stir, but she was absolutely fine. Gabby, we will miss you, and we'll miss your positive spirit and your energy, and wishing you best as you move forward. So this was Zach Stratton's first year in speech, and I was kind of thinking, does he really want to do this? And it turned out, yeah, he did, or at least he faked it like he did. But Zach was 100% in it and super reliable. Even though toward the end there at state, we thought, oh no, maybe Zach's sick, he might not be able to make it. And the other kids in his group were like, we need Zach. Like, he is super reliable and he is super strong. And that's something that I grew to love and really appreciate about Zach. So Zach was always very kind to his fellow members and always willing to learn and do what he needed to do, and just a very incredible performer. So I'm really glad that I got to know him. Tina wrote that Zach was involved in short film and said that he had some really great ideas. In fact, he was one that came up with the idea of developing the Zach Fisher film, which I think shows just his ability to contribute and collaborate with others, and also said that he was very conscientious, which I would agree with as well. On my particular group, Zach was always wondering about how he could help and be useful to him, to others around him. So,
Jacob Vasky. Jacob, as you can tell, I am sitting right in front of the wonderful door that you made for One Act. It has been such a pleasure to get to work with you. I appreciate all of the hard work. You're always on top of it, always going above and beyond, building the set, trying new accents, not afraid to look silly, and you have great comedic timing. It has been so much fun, and I am so gonna miss you over the next couple of years in One Act. I appreciate that you trusted me on acting instead of just being in crew for one act. Thank you so much.
For Gracie Weeks, it's been fun working with Gracie multiple times over her last 4 years at school. I know she'll never forgive me for making her go through with her individual events her freshman year. She still talks about, I think, all the horror that was for her. But we were able to make up for it, I think, with some more fun events later on in her time at speech. I've enjoyed the energy and ideas that she's brought to short film. It kind of keeps the story going and things like that. You need people that can help bring up those ideas and kind of help work through your story ideas. I also know that she's worked really hard in solo mime the last couple of years. She really pushed herself this year, I think, with a very dramatic solo mime after years of doing some funny solo mimes. And I think it paid off. She made it to state contest and she got great ratings from some really tough judges this year. So I know that she put a lot of work into that. It's been great to see how hard she pushes herself, and I hope that you can use that energy in the future as well.
Leah Wegman, what to say about you? You have a smile that is contagious. You have an attitude that is out of this world and just brings people up. I don't remember a time that you've ever really even complained, even in freshman improv, which was difficult to say the least. With that group of girls, not for you. You have gone from improv to short film to acting, which you'd never done before, and you'd been with people who have acted a lot, and you really started as kind of a rookie actress and really made your way up to All-State with ensemble. We just appreciate how hard you work, who you are, what a leader you are, and how much you've grown and what you've brought to our program. From being from basketball to being a speech kid, you do it all. Keep doing that. Thanks for everything, Leah. Colin Wright. I've known you since you were born, so it's kind of hard to not make this a little more personal. Yes, I know my finger was in the shot. I'm trying to make sure you can see that I truly appreciated the hard work that you guys put into for the set for one act. You've grown so much in expression and emotion in acting. You didn't even know you wanted to act, and it's been so nice. I appreciated, and so did the other coaches, appreciated that after you got done with something, you would, at rehearsal, you would ask what you could do better to make that better. Keep doing that. That is a wonderful trait to have, looking to always be better. Really appreciated all the growth I've seen in you, and I'm really going to miss you. Zach Fisher, only got to work with you a handful of times. Really appreciated you letting us tell your story in short film. Really wish you had started speech earlier. You're funny, you're bright, you're warm and compassionate, and you are very intelligent. You are going to do a lot of great things. Thanks so much for the time that you spent with me and with us in short film, and thanks for joining speech this year.
So every year we have some awards that we like to hand out, and the coaches and I determine these awards. So I'm going to speak for the whole coaching staff, but just know that multiple coaches were involved in making these choices. We'd like to start with the Friends of Speech. And interestingly, the Friend of Speech this year actually is a choice that we made before we got into this whole quarantine situation. We decided that our Friend of Speech this year should be the West Delaware custodial staff. And the reason why we decided that is because our custodians are always kind of picking up after speech, always there for us, always, helping us with any needs that we might have. Hey, we need this particular thing. Can you help us find that? So both of the Lisas in the evening are always there for us and always very helpful, but there are many that help to ensure that our speech team is clean and organized, and we really appreciate that about them. So thank you to the West Delaware custodial staff. They have become even more important now in this time of quarantine, but we think that they're always valuable year-round, and the West Delaware speech team just wants to recognize them. Our next award is our Rookie Award, and this year we have 3 different Rookie Award recipients. The award recipients for the Rookie Award are going to be Kamira Zaire, and Lauren Johnson. So Kamira and Lauren are both two very strong freshmen. I'll talk about Kamira first. Kamira was involved in both large group and individual speech and was one of those kids that is always in my room asking how they can get better, what they can do, always asking for feedback. And I think that reflected in her final product. She had one of the funniest individual speeches that I've ever seen, and her large group piece, everafter.com, even though it didn't maybe do as well as she thought it should, to go to state with a piece like that is really challenging, especially as a freshman. So you should be really proud of yourself, Kamira. Kamira is going to win our Rookie Award. Another Rookie Award recipient is Lauren Johnson. So Lauren Johnson was also involved in large group and individual speech and would work endlessly to ensure that her pieces were very strong. So Lauren, for example, would come in my room and say, I think I'm going to work on memorizing this poem. And then I would say, okay, great. When do you think you can do it? And she'd say, over the weekend. And she really would come back and it would be totally memorized in like a week or less. That is unheard of. That is very hard work to do. And I think that's just a testament to Lauren's work ethic. And we are just so happy to have her on our team and can't wait to see what she does over the next few years. Of course, she was very strong in her large group events, also in ensemble, which went to state as well. So she should be really proud of that. And we're really proud of both Kamira and Lauren and what they've brought to our speech team this year. Our third Rookie Award is actually a senior. We had a lot of seniors come out this year, which is really cool, and I think a testament to how welcoming our senior class is. But this year we had Kinley Colbert that we decided should be our Rookie Award recipient. And the reason for that is because Kinley kind of jumped in brand new and said, I'll do whatever. And we love when that happens, and we really love when people mean it. And I think Kinley absolutely meant it. She took on an individual piece this year doing poetry, which is not easy, and it's certainly not easy to do brand new for your very first year. She was also very involved in short film on the large group side and was very helpful in completing that short film, which ended up being really hilarious and was a great piece. So Kinley, we thank you so much for your hard work and for your willingness to try something new. And I think that you will be endlessly successful in college if you keep up that we'll try anything kind of spirit. So thanks, Kinley. Our next award is our Best Attitude Award, and this award's going to go to Leah Wegman. So Leah is one of those people, if you know Leah, you know this, she lights up a room, right? Like she's very kind and very happy to be there all the time. So it kind of went without saying that Leah should absolutely be the recipient of this award. Even when there's a challenge, you know, hey, we're having trouble blocking this, or hey, we're having trouble with memorizing. Leah's like, I can do it. What can I do? How can I help? And that's the kind of thing that we're looking for in our speech team members, is that positive attitude and that willingness to improve. And that is absolutely a picture of how Leah behaves, and we really appreciate that about her. So Leah Wegman, Best Attitude, is our award recipient. Next, we have Most Improved. So our Most Improved recipient is going to go to Zoe Ponzer. So Zoe Ponzer is, of course, a senior as well, and has come so far from her freshman year until now. I think about working with her freshman year in choral reading and all the different things that she did. You know, she's involved in improv, she's involved in one act. She really had a lot of different experiences, even mime this year. And in each of those experiences, she really took on the challenge. It's very rare to find someone that's done that many different categories and is like, I'll do whatever. I think that shows how willing she is to try something new and to improve. You have to imagine for every category you start really knowing nothing, and by the end you're very strong. And Zoe, usually most people are very strong, and Zoe is one of those that became very strong. And literally everything that she did. She was really funny in improv this year. If you saw one act, she was a great actor, you know, playing the whiny kid kind of thing. So Zoe absolutely deserves to be our Most Improved recipient, and we're really proud of the work that she did this year, and we think that she'll be really successful after high school as well. Our last award is the Darla Gaskill Most Valuable Team Member. And the funny thing with this one is that I had a bit of an email scandal involving this particular individual, Jacob Vasky. So we have a scholarship that we get to give out every year for speech, and the coaches pick who gets to apply for that scholarship. And I sent out an email saying that I think Jacob Vasky should be the one to apply for that scholarship, and I still stand by that. And the reason for that is because Jacob Vasky is not only one of the most hardest working people that you've ever met. I mean, like, he will be in your room every day asking how he can improve, what he can do, sending you emails, hey, here's something I worked on, can you look at it? He also is just one of the kindest and most unassuming people that you'll ever meet. You know, if you say, hey, Jacob, like, this person needs something, can you get that for them? No problem. Can you support this person? They need help with something. No problem. You know, Jacob is just a picture of what we're looking for in a speech team member, because he has had to work for every single thing that he's done on the speech team. And he is absolutely gotten there, and it's through his hard work and through his incredible positive spirit. He went to Allstate this year for his after dinner, which was addressed to the Society of Hearing People. It was incredibly funny, and I think just the perfect way for him to end his speech season, kind of saying like, hey, I absolutely am strong and I can do this, and you know, I'm so good at speech, I'm an Allstate nominee. So we're really proud of Jacob Vasky. Again, he's our most valuable speech team member. We appreciate his work ethic and his spirit of kindness, and we want to celebrate him, and we know that he'll go far. I want to conclude this video by announcing that Mr. Hagelin will not be with us next year, and though he does not want me to probably talk about him or to even probably say this, I'm still going to. Mr. Hagelin has been with the speech team for many years, and his guidance and coaching toward the students and the other coaches has been much appreciated. I speak for all of the coaches when I say thank you, Mr. Hagelin, and that we will miss you and your humor and the fact that you always have the rules with you in your backpack very much. Mr. Hagelin is one of those people that truly cares so deeply for his students and for those around him. In fact, he was known to carry around the schedule for the day, and he would fold it up so many times because he was so nervous about how things were going or what the ratings were going to be at contests that he would fold it up 4 different times. Literally at one contest, I probably could have put it in my hand and blown it away because it had basically disintegrated from how much he was flipping and turning and moving this paper around. But again, just a testament to how much he cares about what he does, and we will miss the loving, caring, kind spirit that Mr. Hagelin brought to the speech team. So he's not out of the woods. He's still going to have to help me with stuff next year, but we are very grateful, and Mr. Hagelin will miss you a lot next year.